Sweet. All right, everyone. It is Monday night, which means it's time for another edition of our online open mic, something I affectionately like to call the stay at home open mic, something we've been doing since April of 2020. My name is Richie David Marrufo, aka Deadwall Reveries, and this online mic is brought to you by Barbed Open Mic Series, part of BorderSenses, a nonprofit literary organization based out of El Paso, Texas. So, like any other open mic, if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. I do provide a link to sign up in the description of the video, as long as we are live and as long as we don't have like a really full list. Right now, things seem to be pretty decent. So if you're watching this live and you do get a little courage, or if you feel inspired and want to share something, you are more than welcome to sign up. Even though we've been doing this consecutively now for years, every single Monday, we always get new performers, and that could be you. And if not this week, we welcome you to join us next week. Check out the show, see what kind of things people read. This is open for poetry, prose, music. If you want to get a little experimental, in the past we've had dance, but really we just want you to have a good time, share some of your stuff, right? We have dance parties in our little Zoom boxes. So if you want to join us in the Zoom call, we are here. What else? We definitely encourage you guys as an audience. You are more abstract to us. We don't really know what's going on there. We see people are viewing, but something that always helps is if you just like participate in the live chat, let us know you're here, say hello in the chat, where are you tuning in from, and I will be monitoring the YouTube chat today, and I will be answering questions. I'll encourage Kit, if you can, to give shout outs as well. Today we do have a guest host, someone who's hosted many times before, and he's also been here for every single episode. So anyway, like any other open mic, each performer is going to get their own time, 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing. You don't have to use all that time, and you're welcome to share original work, new work, old work you're dusting off, experimental stuff, or of course something that we like to do, the cover poem. A poem that gives tribute to someone you admire. It could be a well-known writer, or it could be your neighbor or your grandma. You found a poem that your grandma wrote so long ago and you just found it and you had to share it. The point is we want to just celebrate the work and also introduce work to new people. Something we like to do, something that Mike started doing as a tribute to Kit, was putting the cap on, putting the lid on as the cover poem, right? So anyway, as always, have fun. I encourage everyone to share their social medias, their websites, places where people can support their work, and we look forward to a good show. Without further ado, tonight is my night off, so I won't be emceeing, but I will be here hanging out with you guys, enjoying the work. I get to enjoy it more actually when I'm not hosting, because I can focus on other stuff. We will post a list right now in the chat for some of you guys who have just gotten here. But for now, let's go ahead and kick things off. I'm going to pass things over along to today's host. Let's hear it from Mr. Monday Night, Kit Wren. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Richie. Yes, the time has come. The sun has made its way to its home in the western sky, and it is Monday night in El Paso. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're here in the Zoom room, whether you're watching live on YouTube, or if you're watching later in the week on YouTube, I hope the future is nice. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm going to start us off with a cover, as I like to do. And I have chosen today Waiting for the Barbarians by C.P. Kavafi. What are we waiting for, assembled in the forums? The barbarians are due today. Why isn't anything going on in the Senate? Why are the senators sitting there without legislating? Because the barbarians are coming today. What's the point of senators making laws now? Once the barbarians are here, they'll do the legislating. Why did our emperor get up so early? And why is he sitting enthroned at the city's main gate in state, wearing the crown? Because the barbarians are coming today. And the emperor's waiting to receive their leader. He's even got a scroll to give him, loaded with titles, with imposing names. Why have our two consuls and praetors come out today wearing their scarlet togas? Why have they put on bracelets with so many amethysts, rings sparkling with magnificent emeralds? Why are they carrying elegant canes beautifully worked in silver and gold? Because the barbarians are coming today. Things like that dazzle barbarians. Why don't our distinguished orators turn up as usual to make their speeches, say what they have to say? Because the barbarians are coming today, and they're bored by rhetoric and public speaking. Why this sudden bewilderment, this confusion? How serious people's faces have become. Why are the streets and squares emptying so rapidly? Everyone going home lost in thought. Because night has fallen and the barbarians haven't come. And some of our men just in from the border say there are no barbarians any longer. Now, what's going to happen to us without barbarians? Those people were a kind of solution. Right. Waiting for the Barbarians by C.P. Gaddafi, the French, the Greek, not French at all, in the world, poet from the turn of the century. But we have many people from this century waiting to be heard and waiting to share their works with you. And for our first person tonight, our first reader tonight, we are going to the Allegheny Mountains, and that is where Vale Larkin, playwright extraordinaire, they can do anything they set their mind to, and they're here today, and we hope you listen to what they have to say. Vale, when you're ready.
Thank you. And I'll put my links up in chat. I've got some features coming up, including a Great Weather for Media 10-minute feature. If you can't make it to any of my other features, this is literally 10 minutes, 7:30 Eastern Standard on the 31st. Okay, so you'll notice my new Pride shirt, because if Ron DeSantis can pretend it's 1952, I can pretend it's June. And I'm really tired of doing trans and queer and intersex rights readings, because I don't have enough poems, and I feel like I repeat a lot of them, but unfortunately they bear repeating right now. So with that being said, this first poem is about disability, but it's also more specifically about the fact that I am intersex, and I was operated on as an infant. And as almost all intersex babies are in this country. And this is one of the things that is an injustice in our world that has not been corrected, and is not being corrected by the people who claim they're protecting children. Freak show. Come one, come all to the show of a lifetime. The show made of lifetimes and lives and betrayal. Reduced to the price of a ticket, those humans who don't share the shapes we do, don't share our thoughts or our skins or our sizes. Come to the show and feast on surprises, for different is dangerous, best keep it caged, and strangeness contagious, so best to be wary. Humanity's heart opens only to likeness, and symmetry's better than any original. Come one, come all, and hear what we say. Here is the world past the carnival characters. In 1977, a child like me was born, mutilated, unmade, cut open, reshaped, stuffed into a brace, and set down, stock still for years to reach normal. Here's a world beyond hard-hearted visitors. In 1950, a child like me was born and taken by doctors to lie in a ward with 100 cold infants whose mothers were warned of their infectious natures and terrible fates. It grew a little and grew vacant, still and hopeless, curled in on itself and died sometime after life and lies started. Here is a world beyond mythical metaphors. In 1900, a child like me was born and sold to a freak show, displayed from birth for their deformities, their monstrous differences, for every single piece of every outside part, and not once for who or when or how or why or will. In the past, child like me was born and weaned and left to the gutter. In the past, a child like me was born and then burned as a demon. In the past, a child like me was born and was left out to die in the woods after dark. Come one, come all to the show of a lifetime, the brightest and best of the horrid and strange. Look how we cradle our alien progeny, curiosity stronger than mercy or shame. And this is just a very angry poem about what's going on in our country. Freedom, they cry. Like losing our grasp on the light, like the dim coming in, like shadows creeping into brighter spaces, like ink clinging and covering until we are all painted with the same shade. They pass their legislation, state by nation, and they batten their gates and brick up the windows. They reinforce ramparts in ranks, and the portcullis bringing its teeth down into the road. Freedom, they cry. Freedom, while women die and children fall coughing, while they silence truth to misguide themselves, while honesty is mocked and mockery revered, and while they break the spirit, land, and blood. It is illegal to be here. It is illegal to be here without papers. It is illegal to be here without the rhythm method. It is illegal to be here without fear. It is illegal to be here. Like falling into the night, all whisper chills and creeping phantoms, all shape-shifting maelstroms, all witch burning, calf worshipping, all guttering candles falling into the void of the unknowable, the unspeakable, the unseen. It is illegal to be here. The child at the border, the girl weighed by a mistake, the woman stolen over the seas and dropped here choiceless, and the boy who dreams beyond his own body of answers to an aching need. It is illegal for any of us to be here. Freedom, they cry. Freedom. And I've just got one more, and this is hopefully a little more affirming. I am trans. Not trans like tranny, not trans like freak, not trans like groomer, not trans like hate. Trans like opening, trans like embrace, trans like progress, trans like wholeness. Trans like when I asked my mother, why can't I be both? All the sides and everything in between. I was 4 years old. She seemed confused by my question. Trans, like seeing myself in everyone, each girl, each boy, each young, each old, each face and facet felt like part of me, or at least like I was part of them. Trans, like when I wished to stop time. They grew like fears, like an iron maiden encasing me, hiding my body and all its potential under the weight of the world's regard. Some worship, some scorn, but always toward them, their gravity, pulling myself out of shape. Trans, like the first time I said, no, I will not wear those clothes anymore. The ones that feel like plastic costumes and purple face paint when I put them on. The ones that show them something I am not. I will not do that. Like the first time I said, yes, I love the way I look with my neck bare, my jawline softly solid, my eyes bright and stark in the high-browed expanse of my revealed face. Yes, I love seeing my whole body, entire and extending from neck to feet like a unified body and not one split by incongruous ranges. In removing, I have revealed. I am trans like a world where the world sees you instead of burying you. I am trans like looking in every direction but the one you are facing, for years, for a lifetime nearly. and then finding that all that was needed was to release the tension, relax, and be.
Oh, very powerful set. Is there anything, well, you fit your plugs at the beginning of the set. Is there anything you want to emphasize at the end of the set?
I'm gonna say I'll repeat, the Great Weather for Media feature will be fun and short, and I also would really encourage people to go to my Lion and Pirate feature on June 3rd. That's an amazing virtual mic that is focused around disabled people. Anyone can read there. There's no limitations on who can read, but it's extremely accessible. It's accessible to people of all different abilities, and it's really a wonderful program. It's out of Houston, I think. I can't remember which city. Austin, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's Austin, but I think one of the hosts is in Houston. I'm not sure about that.
Yes, Austin, but one of the hosts is in Houston, yes.
Right. Good to know that Texas is big enough to have some good things as well as the stuff that makes the news. But yes, that was Dale Larkin. We're very honored to have them in this space more weeks than not. Coming up next, we're going to go from one mountain range to another, but we're not going home just yet because there's a lighthouse we have to check in to see our friend Michael Sindler. It's keeping watch for all of us up in Denver.
Yes,
Michael.
Speaking of lighthouses, lighthouseriders.org, which is a wonderful, wonderful organization. And as I've mentioned several times lately, is gearing up for the annual Lit Fest festival, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And one nice thing about it is the first day of Lit Fest is also going to be the very first day we move into our new building. So I'm just excited as hell about that. Which, by the way, is going to be incredibly accessible. Our old building was very, very difficult for a lot of people. This building will be completely accessible for everyone. That being said, I'll read a few pieces here. Just read some new stuff that I haven't done. This first one's called Dust Falls. Topsoil becomes bedrock. Dust falls and covers every inch. Layered sediment holds clues, and bluffs are built of silt, hard packed sideways, stretch, flat top hillock, crust to cliff, cracks under pressure. It's actually kind of a concrete poem, works a little better if you can see it, but so it goes. And this one is called Bulb. Bulb that does not glow seeks light. Rising, shoots up, cracks silicate crust, hooks onto battery, rides rays round, expands into color, reconstitution, condensed spark born in dark, defines day. And then last new one. This is from workshop I did a little while back on the 7 deadly sins. I'll do a couple of them. The first, well, I'll just do the one. It's called Lust. Between two trees, fire rages. Both impatiently wait for its many tongues, wait to feel the same flame the other feels, wait to be devoured, hoping to topple into each other as wood is charred into carbon. Perhaps in aeons yet to come, combined coal will compress ashes of their desire, becoming one shimmering diamond. And I will switch over to the hat mode, and it is still National Asian and Pacific Islands American Month. And so once again, I'm going to do a few poems by Asian American writers. This first one is by David Wu, and it's called Eden. Yellow oatmeal flowers of the windmill palms, like brains lashed to fans, even they think of cool paradise, not this sterile air-conditioned chill or the Arizona hell in which they sway becomingly. Every time I return to Phoenix, I see these palms as a child's height marks on a kitchen wall, taller now than the yuccas they were planted with, taller than this Texas sage trimmed to a perfect gray-green globe with pointillist lavender blooms, taller than I, who stopped growing years ago and commenced instead my slow, almost imperceptible slouch to my parents' old age. Father's painful bend, really a bending of a bend, to pick up the paper at the end of the sidewalk. Mother, just released from Good Samaritan, curled sideways on a sofa watching the soaps, an unwanted tear inching down at the plight of some hapless Hillary or Tiffany. How'd she rail against television as a waste of time? Now, with one arthritis-mangled hand, she aims the remote control at the set and flicks it off in triumph, turning to me as I turn to the trees framed in the Arcadia door. Her smile of affection melts into the back of my head, a throb that presses me forward, hand pressed to glass. I feel the desert heat and see the beautiful shutters of the palms in the yard and wonder why I despise this place so, why I moved from city to temperate city, anywhere without palms and cactus trees. I found no paradise, as my parents know, but neither did they, with their eager sprinklers and scrawny desert palms pumped up to artificial splendor, and their lives sighing away, exhaling slowly, the man and woman who teach me now, as they could not before, to prefer real hell to any imaginary paradise. And I'll just do one more. This is by Yone Noguchi, and it's called I Hear You Call, Pine Tree. I hear you call, pine tree. I hear you upon the hill by the silent pond where the lotus flowers bloom. I hear you call, pine tree. What is it you call, pine tree, when the rain falls, when the winds blow, and when the stars appear? What is it you call, pine tree? I hear you call, pine tree, but I am blind and do not know how to reach you, pine tree. Who will take me to you, pine tree? Okay, thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Michael, for that well-considered set. So anything to plug behind? Okay, I guess not. Thank you, Richie. Richie's manning the spotlight with ruthless efficiency. And now, coming up next, normally to introduce this next person, we just have to point you one door to the left, but circumstances have dictated that I now have to point about 500 miles east down to San Antonio, where she is currently in a Master Gardener conference because she is a Master Gardener. And we're very pleased to introduce to you my mother, Robin Schofield, when you're ready.
Thank you, Kit. Yeah, I thought, why not zoom in, even if I'm in San Antonio? And I thought that for May, since this is May, I would read some of my mental health poems. And this one is called 1 Week After the Hatchet Murders. First of all, Lizzie Andrew Borden said to the judge, "She was not my mother, she was my stepmother. I want to make that clear, sir. I don't understand why my father married her. She ate and ate and ate, snorted like a pig, the butterball, And of all the nerve, she wanted to eat my pigeons in a pie. The red dawn in the blue bar who sat on my shoulder. I who slept so poorly, slept so well, and then to awaken to their cooing, though my father hated their moaning. I'd scatter seeds and they'd follow my trail. Furthermore, Bridget the cook said, Miss Lizzie, I will not cook your pet pigeons. But one day, not too long ago, on that cool morning last week, the pigeon coop was still. I scattered seed. None came. I found clumps of blood and wrecked pigeons touched by slices of sunup. I found the hatchet covered in feathers and blood in the basement. The self-same hatchet, you understand. I stared at that hatchet and did nothing and felt nothing. I felt nothing. Maybe it's unfair to say she was mentally unwell because after she killed her parents, well, after she allegedly killed her parents, she was found innocent. She was a model citizen. And this one is about Robert Schumann, who was the great composer and probably had bipolar disorder. You can tell because of the moods in his symphonies, the letters and diaries he kept. So Schumann, after a diagnosis of psychotic melancholia. I felt the ghost theme again shiver through me, but when demons started to scream out dirges, I grew so desperate, I threw myself into the Rhine. Some men fished me out, took me home, and I asked to go to a place safe from rivers, and my wife hastened me to this sanatorium, Edenish. I don't know what to think, except to think I have gone entirely mad. I wrote to Clara that I am filled with dread as deafening devils seize me with claws like tigers and hyenas. Schubert's spirit charges me with melody, but why won't they let Clara come see me? Dr. Richards says she makes me worse, but worse, he dispenses his mercury for a disease I know I don't have. I had no one but Clara, and she no one but me. I think I see her sometimes, but dawn changes her back to a bush with burrs. She sings with the angels in their language. I'd hear them all night long. I'd wake up, Clara, and weep, sing to her first, of course, second the piano, committing the choirs, dictated from the divine to pen and paper. But now, even the stars have screeched out of tune and will not stay still. I will not take any food. I feel my body turning to silver. And then Schumann and Clara. Clara was like a rock star. His wife Clara was like a rock star. She went on tour. She was a singer and piano player. And she also had 8 of his children. And they kept a joint diary. From the Schumann's joint diary, February 17th, 1854. I have been awakened by our 8 children, but none of their nightmares were like Robert's. He's up with a start, shaking me awake, as though I weren't already, screaming that devils and hyenas are grabbing him, or else he's given over to the angels' language, making music out of the host. My voice, my gift of translation, how much lies in his tones, and so fully do I understand his every thought, that I could lose myself in him and his music. Above the piano keys, my hands hover, white spiders above a sun-streaked pond. I am ready, I tell him. I inhale slowly as I read the score fresh from the injured fingers he holds so close to his chest. And then I want to read one about me that it's called A Mental Health Sonnet. And I don't really play craps, it was just for the rhyme. So, but other than that, it's kind of true. The doctor says it's my gripless synapse, the unbalanced nerves that travel miles and miles along, it turns out, trains on the wrong rails. My brain chemistry suffers from relapse and goes off to Las Vegas to play craps and other games of chance, like striking oil in such rocky terrain where the snakes coil on top of stones and wind whips the gaps. My canyon mood rises out of its cave, cold-blooded as the mountains. I ride it like a bronco, ignore the panic inside. The heights, the rocks, the pain. I want to rave, to howl, to scream. A wolf mourned and hungered outside the folds of my brain, word for word. And then I have a little cover poem out of a lovely little chapbook that I got published in called Night Sweats of the Spirit. That's a quote from Robert Lowell, who was really crazy. This is called After a Night in the Garden. For a short time last night, I held a vigil. The stupendous storm, its thunder rattle and rapid lightning flashes kept me awake. To hold up the night can be most rewarding. To unwind the clockwork of the working world and transplant your thoughts and wishes in a darkened field. My sister's baby, our limping bunny, the earth and money and all the soldiers fighting wherever they may be. So much we cannot see, so much we cannot control or know, but must be content with a lightning flash of hope, a rain of courage to be kind, and when the pain gets bad, a thundered moment of relief. Summer can be the hardest season, and it has just begun. I went back to bed, humming a requiem for all I had not done, and prayed for peace. In the morning, the squash vines looked like water lilies in the garden. How they had grown. We all need water when we are testy or afraid. It is what distinguishes us, human, plant, and animal, from stone. Okay, that's what I have. And I have a book coming out. I have a little mock-up of the cover. Maybe you can see it.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah. It's called Ridge of High Pressure. And that's me and my dog, my shadow selfie. So that's going to come out soon. And that's about all I got. I've got a Tumble Words workshop coming up. If you want to write, drop in on Tumble Words at 1 p.m. on Saturdays, Mountain Time. Kit is the coordinator. So
June 24th. That's when Robin will be hosting.
what?
June 24th. That's when
Ah, yes, June
yours
24th.
is going to be. It'll be an ode to oats. Yes, it'll be a great time. It usually is. More on Tumble Words a little later. But actually, speaking of Tumble Words, this next reader is making their debut in the BWOMS space, but they are not an unknown quantity because I have seen her write in Tumble Words, and I'm always just blown away by what she produces off the cuff. So I am very excited to see her in an open mic space where I can see something she's polished and see something that, it has reached a stage of viability. And I'm happy for you all to reach to see that too. So I want you all to please welcome from Pittsburgh, Shocky G.
Thanks, Kit. I'm sorry I can't get on camera today. I got some stuff going on. but I'm going to read a new piece and then 2 old pieces if there's time. This first one, I forgot what the form is. I think it's ekphrastic. I took the line from Kendrick Lamar. I got a swimming pool full of liquor. I'm gonna dive in it, and then wrote the poem from that. But bodies do not float in alcohol like they do in water. They sink to the bottom, grasping onto hazy memories, slurred speech cries for help. I had not learned to swim, to force my body buoyant, like I was not born the anchor of my parents' relationship. A shipwreck trying to surface itself, thinking the more I drank, the less for me to drown in. Salt the rim of my glasses with teardrops, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. But also 2 seconds to midnight, once these were valid enough reasons, and maybe my 13th, depending on the day. But there is no difference between alcohol and poison. Both find a way to scream mutiny in the body and take life hostage. Someday this body wishes itself corpse, lays itself out, afraid to move, lest it be zombie, afraid to be leader, lest this be a funeral procession, ring around the rosy. Lately, I have been trying to reanimate this body, reminding myself Frankenstein was not the monster, but the doctor. So really, I'm trying to heal myself. What a shock it's been. But healing hurts, and alcohol may numb the pain, but only briefly. So this time, I won't dive in, won't play lifeguard, teetering too close to the edge. All right, and the second piece is called Squirrel. I've often wondered if squirrels actually remember where they hide their nuts. If they ever go back to the ground, back to the hole in the ground, hoping to find the acorn, or if maybe they think they are planting trees. I watched a squirrel bury a nut at a construction site once, tried to tell him someone else would be digging there too, that it was not a place he could come back to. When I was 10, I had a Rottweiler puppy. He was taken from his mother too quick and ended up dying a week later. I buried his brittle body in the backyard and placed a large stone above his body. I knew the rent was due, knew we would not be there long, and I would never be able to come back and visit like true cemeterians do. Pretended that maybe I had planted something like the first bit of grief that would sprout into a memory. And I seen the squirrels watching as if they knew exactly what would happen, like they had been there too, burying their goodbyes. Right. And then the last one, super short, it's called Toyota. It takes 6 months to build a Rolls Royce and only 13 hours to build a Toyota. When I met you, I couldn't see past your Camry smile, the check engine light of your heartbeat. Together, we were a Toyota-thon, going nowhere fast, pretending to be Rolls Royce royals in love. My stepfather drove a Toyota. He said once, if you care for it, it'll run forever. We do not have to be a beautiful love story. I'm willing to be a mechanic's wet dream, blackened fingers and oily jeans, if it means we can enjoy the ride. It doesn't matter how long it takes to build, just that you take the time to care. Thank you.
It's us who should thank you, Shaki. Thank you so much for that, for dropping by and delivering that set. Is there anything you'd like to plug now in this space? Where can people seeing you for the first time find more of you?
On my website, I have a book coming out in July. It's available for pre-order now on my website, shakigpoetry.com. There's also other examples of my work there and links to my social media. So I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, well, thank you, Shaki. Very glad you were able to make it. And we're going to go from Pittsburgh to have to consult the the spreadsheet for this one, because our next participant comes from a land down under. Well, I thought they were called Down Easters in Maine, but maybe that's my mistake, where women glow and men plunder. And I had to tell you, I cannot hear the thunder, but I will take your advice and run and take cover anyway. So that is what he put in the spreadsheet this week, folks. I don't know what to tell you, except other than please welcome Brian Franco to the mic. Brian, when you're ready.
Gracias, Kit. You're doing a fine job stepping in for young Ricardo. But when the Don asks you to do so, you don't tell him no. I just want to say, well, first I'll put in the chat everything that you need to know about me. And this Thursday I have I'm the featured guest poet at the Yorktown Poetry Workshop. It's a little thing where you bring one poem to read, and then they do a constructive critique of your people, do a positive constructive critique of your poetry. But I'll be reading throughout the night. But anyways, that's 6:30 Eastern on Thursday. Let me go ahead and read some poems. The first poem is from Clive Oseman's workshop last week. He's a British poet. It's called "Why the Most Popular Correspondence Course at the University of Phoenix is Contemporary Parking Lot Design." The designers of American parking lots have been downgrading them since the 1990s. There used to be a time when every parking lot had multiple entry and exit points. Most now only have one, which can create enormous traffic snafus. Bordering parking lots used to have pass-through areas, which now no longer exist, making accessing the most convenient exits terribly inconvenient. Parking lots have become the new airplanes. Spots are tighter, less long, and less wide. Aisles tend to be narrower, making backing out into a spatial judgment Olympic slalom event. It is akin to how, after spending over an hour in a cramped airline seat with enough legroom for a 5-year-old, exiting the plane becomes a fight for your life mob mentality melee race to rush across the airport to get to a connecting flight. Isn't there an unwritten rule of parking lot etiquette that states when walking through a parking lot, one should not pretend to be a track star and speed their pace by walking directly behind a backing out 2-ton motorized mechanized melange of metal capable of mangling any human not born on planet Krypton? Likewise, when other drivers decide they are participating in a demolition derby by putting the pedal to the metal instead of waiting the minute or so it takes for another car whose blind spot they are in to back out. A trip to the grocery store should be about buying food and possibly treating yourself to something unhealthy and delicious instead of being a training course for future stunt drivers. I have 2 brand spanking new poems that I wrote this afternoon, so they're a little rough around the edges. They are both titleless, without titles. Poem 1. I want to believe I have the right to soak in the sun. I want to believe the good Lord has led me to rays of hope, has led me to feel warmth upon my skin when life feels colder than usual. When I need to hear bird song, when I need to know a breeze, when I need to see butterflies form kaleidoscopes, when I need to not be blinded, but to find a path I did not previously know. I will question my right to travel that path, but it is an undeniable fact that the sun shines everywhere where everyone exists, so it must belong to everyone everywhere, and every path it decides to light is available for everyone everywhere to travel. And here, this is poem 2. I have had sleeping dreams when I dream about myself living a different life where only positive outcomes exist. But in these dreams, I am not a poet. In these dreams, I am not aware poetry exists inside my soul. Whenever I awake from these dreams, I wonder if the me in these dreams is fulfilled without poetry in his life. I wonder if the me in these dreams doubts his happiness and successes. I wonder if the me in these dreams will one day be a poet. I wonder if the me in these dreams will one day write about tears. I wonder if the me in these dreams will one day step onto a stage and scream a rant. And as I lay in bed as someone who always feels unfulfilled, I can feel happy. I know I am a poet that can cry tears of happiness till I fall back into slumber to dream more dreams. Thank you. And I'm going to put in the chat how you can vote for my poem. And the New Jersey NAMI Mental Health Poetry Contest, which is a national contest. So thank you, everyone, and thank you so much, Kit, for stepping in for Richie, and of course, thank you, Robin, always for providing us with Kit.
Yeah, nature or nurture, either way, she gets the credit. I'm just here. Well, thank you very much, Brian, for your contributions to tonight, and good luck in your contest. And coming up next, we're going to stick along the eastern seaboard. We're going to go down to New Jersey, where someone who's a little didn't really think through this metaphor, but they're a little hard to grasp sometimes, because they are always camouflaging themselves, because they are the chameleon poetic. There, I got to it. I figured it out. So, Teresa, when you're ready.
I found these haikus. This is from, I don't know when, a while ago, a workshop. Maybe it was Chanson's workshop, which he was doing for a while on Sundays. But some of them are okay. And then I have another one about coffee. So I'll start with the haikus. Like water to quench, loosen your tight-fisted grip, my parched throat choking. Cheesy doodles balls, salsa guacamole chips, fruit, healthier choice. Frankly, my dear, I, bogey and Bacall classic, Casablanca life. Oh, fiddle-dee-dee, Scarlett O'Hara Karen, came back with the wind. And then I have the coffee. I don't even know what this sounds like. I'm just going to read it. I'm not finished. This storm brewing inside of me and in the heart of every person, no matter sex or race, is the rapid advancement of years coming at an avalanche pace. And there is only one escape. My mother used to say, getting older is not so bad when you consider the alternative. Our elderly population used to be them, now it's us, and we need to do better. I have no idea what that has to do with coffee. You know, sometimes you just find stuff and you're like, what the hell is this? Anyway. Maybe I can find one more. But I'm afraid to read. I haven't read some of these in a while, so it could be the same kind of a thing. Oh my God. I am very scared now. I have a lot of slams in this one. I'm just going to read it. It's a slam. Barely breathing from the chokehold, mansplaining, expletive, excuse for love, and yet the farthest thing from it. Beyond full circle to the opposite end of spectrum, you lie. You accuse me of not loving you. When your excuse for abuse is deception, you keep smoldering eyes watering from the smoke. Smokey the Bear, bearing unrelentless hugs, unrequested, unappreciated, ungrateful, undressed, naked, unable to, or unwilling to leave me alone, making stupid excuses to follow behind, in front, on the side of me. Don't you understand, or will you never? I asked you to leave me alone. I need time to myself. I'm not done. And the more you deny or refuse to hear it, the more I resent your presence and you accusing me of not loving you every time. Because you can't see the forest from the trees. Only you can stop forest fires. Applies here. I will burn this mother down. My eyes see red. My face burns. Arms tighten. My stomach a pit. My breath is fire. And I swear to you, I will light this matchstick up with one disgusted exhale. Because I was pissed off that day. Anyway, that's just like a menagerie of whatever. I have a couple things coming up. I am featuring with Thomas on Open Minds this Friday. I have Saturday a karaoke thing I do with The Word Is Right every last Saturday of the month. And there was something else. I can't think of it right now. It's probably just poetry in New York City for the, upcoming poetry festival in July. I'm going to be there with Brian.
Very cool.
And buy my book, The
You know,
Chameleon
I
Chronicles.
think they're gonna be with Teresa. Damn it, that's more important.
We have to do a duet, Brian. We have to like come up with something. And the book Chameleon Chronicles is for sale. You can contact me on Facebook under Teresa Rose Dirtson, or you can find me on Instagram under The Chameleon Poetic. We can do Cash App, we can do Vimo, we can do PayPal. And also Red or Green Books, you can find the book.
All right. Thank you very much, Terry. And if she and Brian ever do a duet, it started right here, and you were here for the beginning of that. But we're moving on. We can't stick around for everything, but we have to keep moving, and we're going to go all the way to San Francisco, where this next gentleman has his own mic, Time to Arrive. She maintains very well. I've actually featured there once. Another El Paso resident will be featuring there very soon. But I'll let him tell you about that. I don't mean to steal anyone's thunder. Please welcome Dayton Ince.
Thank you, Kit. Thank you, everybody. Yes, Fernando is going to be our feature tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hope you can come and see this very talented, wonderful person, along with the other people that will be there at the open mic. Okay, I have some old stuff and some Texas poems. Same. There was the event, humbling, inspiring. It happened one time, 100 times. The witnesses were moved. They danced, they drummed, they sang about it, painted caves, wrote about it, passed it down to unruly children who have no memory at all of why, what happened, retold, recounted by those never there, who just imagined it as an icon, now useful for some corruption. The timeline is just after the big forgetting and just before the big empty. There's an opportunity for closed eyes, conforming rebellion, wanderer, mannequin hands falling off dead, or same thoughtlessness. This next piece is When Creek. When I fell, when the tip, potential to cracked eggs, scorpions into the perfectly seasoned cast iron pan regularly used for cornbread, when the promises sour milk, the screaming loud. I learned a lesson that cost you your life. What will I do when the plaintive cry of a cat at my feet, stop and go desert? This is now nowhere. Solitary stealing, bargain for more. More than 6 years ago, I had no imagination of what yesterday would be. I lived there for a minute. When tomorrow comes, I will not recall what was so important that I could not breathe, why I did everything in my power not to live gently, why myself is an angry twin, refused to speak, ignorant twin language to myself when fruit salad spends the rent money on number 5, ignorant, useful as a rock star, holds the door open with its weight. The flies sneak through the small hole in the screen door. I went swimming in a muddle when the summer sun smiling blisters, when me walks across the gravel road like the gravel road used to be, baked, dry, sunburnt, ejaculation, yellow. Pick the best peach tree switch when the mud puddle was special and warm. I will keep the meaning of the rule of threes a secret for now. It would just spoil the ending when you won't accept the beginning. I carry this unending wound ocean in my imaginary Texas. Choose sweet mesquite beans, cactus blossoms, thorns, stick my memory, dust devils flat and holy, the perfect shape smoking over drapes, over cedar fence posts, mistake of swallowing tobacco juice instead of spitting. Swimming in West Crystal Spring water, clear San Felipe Creek. When I have several little short Tonka. She calls him Misty, small rock slide. He names her Shine, water flowing by. They splash happy all day long. Mindless misery floats by. Sunshine smiling kisses us, morning warm on little petal, all grow green, grow tall. The bend in the river looks up, seeing Misty with his new legs. Misty mountaintop, dreaming he has legs, falls off the bar stool. Drunk, how or why, he wonders. Sunshine had to go and die. Spring Street. The dull guillotine glints in surly smoke, the power of the state handcuffed. I cannot feel my cock. Just one blink last. I took the 56 Bel Air engine apart. Now rusty grease, silent scream, the flies out of entropy, the flat at sunset, brilliant blue, sleeping mountain, must be in Mexico, at the edge of black poking up. I stumble over gravel road home. All the things I find, hold close, are all the things I have lost. Nothing but a barbed wire fence between my crisp memory dungeon heart and the north snow, frozen winds blowing south. TV antenna and picking up signal from Wyoming. Blankets our trailer house near the Rio Grande. Mystery, unquestioned, and kerosene lamp light. I put my eye over the microscope, looking for any way out to escape into fat thundercloud lightning, storm, future rainstorm, humid midday desert, petrichor, sitting in the dark in Del Rio, in Waco, in San Angelo, waiting for the picture to start, staring at the ceiling, faux night sky, royal blue, deep like sea, stars twinkle like endless tears. If I start crying now, I will never stop. Now I look at my wrinkled hands. They offer questions to render all now closed matchbook cover, unlit potential of jackrabbit hops, twang of broken guitar string, bourbon bottle leaking in the chest of drawers, eventually empty evermore upstairs on Spring Street. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to plug right now in this space?
No. Thank you. Thank you for making such a wonderful space. I love it here. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. We're going to stick around the Bay Area for a little while longer because another favorite host of ours, another favorite event producer of ours also lives there. And she's another one who likes to put little Easter eggs in the spreadsheet for me and Richie. And this week's is, what's a motto? What's a motto with you? You know, not all of it. I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to bother with the setup. You just skip straight to the punchline. That's an admirable trait. It's one of many admirable traits about Finn Bell. Finn, when you're ready.
Thanks so much, Kit. Hello, everybody. I've seen some of you guys just maybe half an hour ago at a previous place, but it's good to be here. I will share 2 poems with you folks. Sorry, I was like tapping my app. I was beginning my fast, so I was logging my app. logging my fast. So the first one was a poem that I did. Well, I did it before Java Speaks yesterday. It was Mr. Fun's little mini workshop, and he was trying to teach us how to do a reversal poem. So I attempted it. I tried to refine it. This is what I came up with. It's called Raise the Drawbridge, Lower It. What's the difference? It's a reversal poem, but maybe nah. So it's to be read once forward and then once in reverse. I am the naive princess protagonist populating buttercup fairy stories. But I refuse to believe that love does not make someone want to be the hero in every twisted tale. I realize this may come as a shock, but synonymy of love and goodness, where does the lie lie? I won't crumble, lose hope, or will I? In an enlightened age, I'll likely change my tune. I will tell people that I have my priorities straight because, good heavens, weary traveler, listen. Quests of mind-bending, ceaseless ambition become more important than people and feelings. Diligent scribe, take down notes. I tell you this once upon a golden time, brave knights slayed imaginary mind dragons, but lo, this does not hold true in my paper kingdom. Princesses raise the drawbridge, throw gallant bows into the drink. Sage experts, wizard trickery, kindly tell me, I'm looking outside of myself for validation. I cannot say any more with any honesty. I will remain steadfast and well-intentioned after all. In the future, dragons, princesses, and knights will be told to keep to themselves. No longer can we demand I should be saved from peril by dime a dozen Ken doll prince cutouts. It will be evident that if I take up the sword, all evil pretense will perish. It is foolish to presume that happily ever after even existed to begin with. But see, fantasy becomes truth as I stubbornly keep longing and wishing. Now in reverse. But see fantasy become truth as I stubbornly keep longing and wishing. Happily ever after even existed to begin with. It's foolish to presume that if I take up the sword, all evil pretense will perish. It will be evident that I should be saved from peril by dime a dozen Ken doll prince cutouts. No longer can we demand dragons, princesses, and knights will be told to keep to themselves. In the future, I will remain steadfast and well-intentioned after all. I cannot say any more with any honesty. I'm looking outside of myself for validation. Sage experts, wizard trickery, kindly tell me, princesses raise the drawbridge, throw gallant bows into the drink. But lo, this does not hold true in my paper kingdom. Brave knights slayed imaginary mind dragons. I tell you this once upon a golden time. Diligent scribe, take down notes. People and feelings become more important than quest of mind-bending, ceaseless ambition. Good heavens, weary traveler, please listen. I have my priorities straight because in an enlightened age, I'll likely change my tune. I will tell people that I won't crumble or lose hope, or will I? Where does the lie lie? Synonymy of love and goodness? I realize this may come as a shock, but love does not make someone want to be the hero in every twisted tale. But I refuse to believe that. I am the naive princess protagonist populating buttercup fairy stories. So that was a little bit of fun, probably a little nonsensical. Who knows? Alrighty, so the next poem I wanted to share was, again, I keep on going back to this one, was My Fears Out Loud. It's Maureen Medina. Hey. This poem is called Blood is Thicker Than Water. Blood is thicker than water. You use it against me, grasping at straws, at last-ditch effort to bring me back into the fold. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. You carried me and delivered me into this world. Though I know love, though I have been nurtured, though you know what makes me laugh, Our familiarity ended when I lost my innocence. If only you knew what made me weep, what keeps me up at night, what makes it impossible for me to exist in this world. If only you knew what hurt me most, the very thing that keeps me going. As my eyes opened and I chose to see, it was then I found my chosen family, raging against violence, begging for peace. We chose this life and in turn chose each other. My sisters, we shared a womb, we shared the same black hair, the same mannerisms, and even the same last name. But my covenant, my people, they don't know the stories of my youth, but they have plunged into the darkness with me as we search for light together. Yes, Mom, you bore me and I fled your body and your feminine. I landed on uncharted territory, delivered right into the front lines with warriors. They bleed with me, they mourn with me, they know me, they are me. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Finn, what's the upcoming roster? What is the rest of Poetry Games and Thinkabulary and the like look like?
Poetry Games is actually this coming Sunday. It's me. I'm leading a Poetry Games, and it's called Beauty and Brevity. We are going to be exploring short form, both traditional and new. So we're going to be covering things like, Tanka, Senyu, possibly Limerick, but also new things like the Panku and the Skylark poem. And then this Thursday is my foodie themed open mic. It's called Calling All Epicures. So bring your foodie poems, bring your foodie stories, even foodie songs, just bring it all. You can even bring food, just though you can't share. So that's the sad part. But yeah, it's going to be this Thursday, the 25th, I believe, at 7 p.m. Pacific. Cool beans. Yay.
Cool beans. Well, you can shove the food into your camera, but you won't like the results. It'll just make a mess. But we're going to bring it back home. We're going to bring it back home for a little bit. Our next performer has not been back in El Paso for very long, but they have made an impact. They are astounding in their power and in their range of different moods and different subjects they can take on. And it's been wonderful to welcome them over to last month. And we don't have to just welcome them. We can just keep saying hello because they're going to be around for the long haul. And so it's a pleasure to introduce to you Fernando Antonio Montejano. When you're ready.
Oh, thank you so much, Kit. That was very kind. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. I am happy to be back on this Monday night. Can everybody hear me pretty well? Am I good? Okay. So I actually have just a few pieces that I wanted to read today. 3 pretty short pieces that are all new shit, as a matter of fact. So every single one of them. I saw Richie do it. I could hear it. Richie, even over the mute, I could hear it. Yep, there it is. I see it. They're all new. There's just been a lot on my mind since I got here. Things have been incredible since coming back home. I've been enjoying the hell out of myself. I've been loving all the things that I've been getting to do, all the places that I've gotten to read at, the people who have welcomed me into this art community. All of it has been just wonderful. So I've been very appreciative, and with that has come a lot of introspection on sort of, I guess the things that I've been through and what has led me here, the things that I've let go of, but the things that I've found since I've been here. So all of these poems relate back to that in some sense. Usually I'm staring out at the mountains outside of my mom's apartment while I'm writing things these last few weeks. So it's been beautiful and it's been wonderful. So yes, Finn Bell tagged me in a writing challenge, and my excuse was that I gave up haikus for Lent and I just never went back. So I will write some haikus for you, Finn Bell, I promise. Okay. So they're all very short pieces, and then I have one cover piece. Obviously, within our communities, there has been a lot of political anger. And so recently I was brought back to a piece that I think
for me has always been a lot of fun by a rapper, but I'll get more to that later. So we'll go ahead and jump into these first few pieces. This first piece, probably the older of the new pieces. I think I wrote it maybe a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember entirely, but I got to read it just the other night, actually, at Craft Rhythm and Brews. So I wrote two sort of breakup poems, one that is like the full breakup poem, me being angry about the memories, and then I read another one that was me going back to that poem a year later and writing a mirror to it. And maybe I'll share that here, those two here at the open mic at some point. But I just read them recently and they feel too fresh, so I don't want to be redundant for myself. This is the new shit though. So this is called Flood. I don't remember the moment exactly when my heart moved from my chest to my sleeve, but I know the difference between who I was then and who I am now. I remember growing flowers from blood and never going back to watch them bloom. Somewhere in those patches of a garden grown from pasts that needed nourishing well before I got here, from pastures of dried grass and dying buds, was a reminder to open my heart and allow that loving kindness to feed those blooms, carrying sadness like hunger inside of them with no room for neglect. I didn't want those friends I made to feel like I was incapable of finding value in the people they were to me. A sentiment worth more than any metaphor can add weight to. I just don't want anyone to leave. Thank you. So my second is the second most recent. I'm just going in order of the way that I wrote them. So it's all new shit. Like I said, they're all very short, just sort of introspective things. This one specifically was about, I think the way that we all sort of create ourselves, the way that we decide, you know, who we want to be. And we get to a point where I think we stop worrying so much about us in relation to others, and we focus more on the things that make us feel good. And we stop hiding, I think, from who we are. And we accept that fully. And I think that was it's not something that I've just had happen to me, but it was reflection in the poetry. So this is called Cactus Flower. I am finding moments to take in the sun because it is abundant, and I have hidden myself from those joys the light brings. So caught up in the spaces the darkness fills that I often forget they are only shadows resting as they prepare for another long run. Cactus shadows sprint from thorn to rock to wilting cactus flower, and then disappear when the afternoon peaks and there are no more places to be a shadow. Who am I now? Whoever I want to be. Thank you. And then one last short one before I get into my cover poem. So this one I think is a little bit sadder. It's coming up on the anniversary of my sister's death. That'll be next month, the first year. And this coming weekend, I believe the 2nd, is actually her birthday. So, you know, there's just been a lot of thought and a lot of feelings that I've been having. And specifically, the one thing that's been coming to mind is that we were so similar. The only things that we really ever got to talk about, you know, over Facebook and Instagram, they were really the only ways that we had to talk through phone, like text and stuff like that, was really just our trauma and the things that were hurting, you know, because we could share that together, because it was something that only we understood because we went through it together. And so we were able to talk about that stuff for a long time. And then when she was gone, I all of a sudden didn't have anybody to vent to about all these things that I was feeling, about the suicidal ideations, about, you know, all of these different things that we were experiencing. So, I felt very lost. And since I've gotten here, I think I've been really carrying her with me, because not a lot of the people in my family, I think, are a part of this, of the art scene, of the literature scene. And she actually did happen to be a part of it. She was a part of a local band. She wrote music for them and sang with them. And I actually just got to meet them just by luck, you know, because of BWOMS. So I remember it was such a weird coincidence. I had just that day, a few hours before we went to the open mic, asked about this band, Ghost in the Snow, that my sister was in. And Richie in the moment was like, well, I don't think I recognize the name. You know, I don't know if I know them, but I'll let you know if I hear anything. And I was like, cool, thank you. And then literally that night, I show up to the open mic and I'm listening to Richie read off the list of people who are going to be a part of it, who've already signed up. And of course, Ghost in the Snow. They're there. They're on the list. And so immediately the first thing I did when I went up there, I mean, I was in a little bit of a shock. I was like, what? That's such a weird coincidence. But the first thing I did was I walked up and I introduced myself, and there was a bit of a shock on their faces too. I don't think that they expected it. The weirdest coincidence, though, the thing that makes me feel like maybe she had sort of pushed this to happen, was that they had told me that that was the first time they'd ever performed at that venue, at the Mona Bar. They had never done it before then. They weren't sure if they wanted to. They just decided they wanted to go for it, and it happened to work out. They were there. I was there. I was looking for these people already because I knew that they were associated with my sister, and so it worked out in a weird twist of fate, but I think I was really happy about it. So I've gotten to talk to them, and they even may potentially want me to write some music for them like my sister did. So I feel really good about all that. It's been amazing. But I think in the back of my mind, I continue to think about, what it could have been had I got to be here with her, all the different things that we both love doing that we never got to share together. And I think all of this sort of came out in a moment while I was staring out at the mountains one night, and this poem came to be not too long, but it's called Sister Sun. The horizon catches flecks of orange light, misty pink sunset blending colors in the dusk, a light crimson clay dusting the rays filtered in from between the clouds. Mountains crack the sky against an endless view, motes of dust speckled under beams of Texas sun. A film grain painted onto that backdrop of never-ending God rays. Between the clash of sun-drenched clouds and breaking daylight is that constant thought. How many views would we have shared together if I could have saved you? Thank you. So, like I said, my final is a cover poem. I was going to put the hat on, but I actually don't know where my hat is at, which is a little bit worrying to me because I always know where my hat is at. So I'm a little bit scared, but I will find it. I will find my hat. As of for now, this is a cover poem. It's a cover. So no. Okay. So yeah, you know what? Like a towel. Yes. You never want to lose your towel. And I've lost mine. So this is a piece by rapper that some of you, I think, who are more into like the independent rap scene might know, just because he is part of the Rhymesayers label. And if you know the Rhymesayers, they're more responsible for independent rappers, but they have produced some pretty big people. Rappers like Atmosphere or Logic is probably the biggest one that I can think of. So if you know the rapper Logic, he came from the Rhymesayers label. But this rapper, Brother Ali, is one of my favorites. Almost everything that he does is rooted in talking about, the government corruption, the systemic racism. He's got a whole song that's all about banks foreclosing homes, and it's fantastic. It's beautiful. He makes a lot of really, really incredible music, but this song is actually the first one that I'd ever heard from him years and years and years ago, and it stuck with me, and I listened to it constantly, and I love the flow of it. I'm not a rapper anymore though, so it might not sound great. I'm gonna read it as best as I can, and hopefully it'll be good. So this is my cover poem. This is what I'll end on. I'll drop all my stuff in the chat before I actually even jump into it. I've got the feature tomorrow. Thank you, Dane. Very, very excited to be on Time to Arrive. Very excited to be a part of that feature. I love that I've been invited to all these things. You're all wonderful, and I'm really excited to be a part of your various shows and your lives. So thank you very much. Beyond that, I'll throw the regular links in for my socials and all that fun stuff. I'm actually finally getting around to putting my book together. So if anybody has donations for books, that's fantastic as well. But I'll put that stuff in once I'm done here. I will have to leave as soon as I'm done here. I wanted to stay and keep listening to everybody, but I totally forgot that it was one of my cousin's birthdays and I'm actually in town to celebrate it. So as soon as it's done, I'm heading over there to hang out with him for a little bit. But all right, without further ado, this is Uncle Sam Goddamn by Brother Ali. Smoke and mirrors, stripes and stars, stolen for the cross in the name of God, bloodshed, genocide, rape, and fraud written to the pages of the law. Good Lord. The cold continent latchkey child ran away one day and started acting foul. King of where the wild things are, daddy's proud because the Roman Empire done passed it down. Imported and tortured a workforce and never healed the wounds or shook the curse off. Now the grown-up Goliath nation holding open auditions for the part of David. Can you feel it? Nothing can save you. You question the rain, you get rushed in and chained up, fist raised, but I must be insane because I can't figure single goddamn way to change it. Welcome to the United Snakes. Land of the thief, home of the slave, the grand imperial guard where the dollar is sacred and power is God. All must bow to the fat and lazy, the fuck you, obey me, and why do they hate me? Who, me? Only 2 generations away from the world's most despicable slavery trade, pioneered so many ways to degrade a human being that it can't be changed to this day. Legacy so ingrained in the way that we think we no longer need chains to be slaves. Lord, it's a shameful display. The overseers even got raped along the way because the children can't seem to escape from the pain and they're born with the poisonous hatred in their veins. Try and separate a man from his soul. You only strengthen him and lose your own, but shoot that fucker if he walks near the throne. Remind him that this is my home. Now I'm gone. Welcome to the United Snakes. Land of the thief, home of the slaves, the grand imperial guard where the dollar is sacred and power is God. Okay, hold on. Give me a second right here. Hold on. You don't give money to the bums on a corner with a sign bleeding from their gums, talking about you don't support a crackhead. Shit. What you think happens to the money from your taxes? The government's an addict with $1 billion a week kill brown people habit. And even if you ain't on the front line when massa yell crunch time, you right back at it. Plain look at how you hustling backwards. At the end of the year, add up what they subtracted. 3 out of 12 months, your salary pays for that madness. Man, that's sadness. What's left? Get a big ass plasma to see where they made Dan Rather point the damn camera. Only approved questions get answered. Now stand your ass up for that national anthem. Thank you, everybody. I have loved it. Loved being here as always. I'll go ahead and plug my my links here into the chat, but otherwise, thank you everyone for being such a wonderful group, and I am excited to see you all next Monday.
Kit, you're muted.
Yeah.
So I am, excuse me. Well, thank you very much, Fernando, for joining us tonight, and happy birthday to your cousin. I'm a little too efficient at this hosting business, so we're almost at the end of the list, far before when we usually are, but we do have some people left, some people willing to take the flame. And the next one, he usually gets to relax. He doesn't usually get to relax on Mondays, but he's gotten to sit back this time, and he's even got time to think about and get a set for you guys. So we're very happy to get to hear him because he's usually in his efficient mode, but we're very happy to get to hear Richie Marrufo. When you're ready, bud.
Righty then. Cool. Let's yeah, there you go. We're fighting for the spotlight. What's up, everyone? Once again, thanks to Kit for taking the reins tonight. It is nice to be able to sit back a little bit more because it does take a little bit to host. A lot of you guys have done that too, so you know. I didn't know I didn't have anything prepared, so I opened up my Dropbox, which I haven't used like in years and years to actually save files. So I was just looking for like little things saved here and there. So this is the equivalent of pulling out random scraps of paper and seeing what I've scribbled on it. All right. So that's kind of what this set is tonight, because I didn't want to read the same ones I always read. So here we go. She loves it when poems end in questions. Am I doing this right? Okay, that was a dumb one. So there's a reason why they've stuck around, not used. All right. This is a farewell poem. There's a lot of inside literary jokes in it yeah, in addition to the open mic and BWOMS and all that you guys know. I also teach at my local college, and there I also help with a project called Papagayo Project. It was founded by Isela Fulton, who's awesome. And so this was like when she was like retiring. So I wrote this for that. Since feeling is first, there's no MLA format to cite the way in which we will miss you. We'll know more of the world when spring is in the world. The mother hen will leave the nest and leave the rest, leave the future to the rest. To those who wonder but were never crossed, to those who wander but were never lost, the restless and the senseless, the young and the old, nomadic, the hopeful and the bold. The mother hen will leave the rest and leave the future to the rest, but nonetheless, know we've been blessed. See, goodbye is too good a word, so we'll just say farewell. For papagayo is not a paragraph, and farewell, I think, is no parenthesis. Yeah, a lot of E. Cummings in that one. Bob Dylan, you guys get it. Illusions. All right, here's another one. This is based off of a road trip. Bleary-eyed, drive through rainy highway, murky darkness. So long, Chukoshire, our proper goodbye. We'll have to wait for later. Mom tells us stories of picking cotton with the family as a kid, and Dad shares stories of Saturn. Each roll of the horizon swallows the open road and brings us one step closer to brother. The shadows of the plain are hungry, so we drive straight into the sun. All right, and last two pieces. Well, hold on, wait, is that right? Yeah, these are kind of quick pieces. These next two pieces are team poems. I was talking with Fernando the other day, and one of the things that he was reminiscing on were team poems, were group poems, and that's typically something you see more in like poetry slams specifically. But we were considering the possibility of trying to do some group poem writing workshops that we can do an event for that. Yeah. So I'm in the vein of like I'm gonna read some group poems that are kind of edited, so I'll just read on my own. But this first one's called Shenanigans. One word, 4 syllables, shenanigans. Because if actions speak louder than words, then shenanigans are screamed from the tops of mountains and annihilate what we used to know as truth. Some people believe our lives are dictated by fate. But with little shenanigans, you can take control of your life. You see, shenanigans build character. You can't buy personality. And personally, pronouns are profound when I are pronounced as we. Because who we be is free. We manage mischief in places of obscure origins, like America. We appreciate the finer things in life, but sometimes you just want to break shit. We are Coyote, the anti-hero of our grandmother's stories, trickster. We know shenanigans well. They kept me sane during those hard times when I was eating microwave splintered weenies and a tortilla and ramen every day because that's all there was in my kitchen besides cucas. Staying up late, sleeping past noon, beer for breakfast, and then doing it all over again. The unemployed shenanigans, looking for your next fix shenanigans. Because a little chaos is fun and good for the soul, especially when raunchy debauchery becomes a welcomed occurrence. Like that one time in New Orleans. Never mind. We don't talk about that one anymore. Shenanigans is the sound of rusty chainsaws being juggled. Shenanigans is freedom. Be free to make mistakes and announce your love to that one person or two. Hey, whatever makes your plane soar. Shenanigans is the number you call after 2 a.m. See, we have been down and out because of shenanigans, left to pontificate, perhaps even evacuate the words that we masticate all over the sidewalk If there isn't a threat of being arrested, you're doing it wrong. See, it is the zenith of xenified bohemian behaviors etched into the secret passageways of underground cities. It's can't stop, it's won't stop, it's shenanigans reminds me of revolution. You see, the Arab Spring, Mexico 68, the civil rights movement, these wouldn't exist without the desire for shenanigans. So take some time to upset the balance of the universe. Quantum physics dictates that we are allowed to make a myriad of choices. Shake some atoms and unravel what you thought was impossible. Because it's like they say, Rome wasn't built in a fuck it, let's do it anyway. Shenanigans. And we performed that one like a little skit, you know, like a salesman. Shenanigans. All right, and the last one I'm going to read is another team poem that I wrote. It's called To Young Leaders. All right. Let your mind be a sponge to soak up endless stories and songs, because the future belongs to those who are curious and creative. So be curious and creative, but most of all, listen. Step 1, be you. So much so that the world cannot contain your uniqueness unless it doubles. No, triples in size. Shake mountains with your melody. Enjoy every song of yourself from crescendo to crescendo, like mountaintop to mountaintop. So much so that others will have no other choice but to get your songs stuck in their heads. So much so that if you were in front of Picasso, he would tell you, I can't paint you. You're so weird. Or better yet, I painted you perfectly because you're so weird. Don't be afraid to be alone. So when the time comes, and it will come, you'll embrace your own thoughts and spend your last dollar on an empty notebook. You'll embrace the mistakes, the missed aches of your most confusing years. You'll take them, crumple them up into a ball of confusion, bathe it in the fires of Mount Doom, and wear it as your armor. Step 2, be bold. Walk this world with exclamation marks as lightning bolts. Let your march for justice be booming thunder for those who are voiceless and cannot fight back. Isang bagsak. When one falls, we all do. When one rises, we all do. You come for one, you come for all. So be bold in an army of one, unapologetic to your ideas, winding and grinding to reason and rhyme. Check it. Ask big questions so you may get big answers. Like mi abuelo, who wrote love songs about the border and worked hard every single day of his life for the love of his family, who showed me to experience the beauty of moments and the true meaning of lifelong friendships, to travel cross country and meet beautiful silver-tongued poets from silver cities who tell us to hold on and chase the sun, go out, get dirty, stay up late, jump fences, sneak into buildings, create, meditate, set people on fire. Figuratively. So be bold and take risks. Like that one time when I was a freshman in high school, and everything I had ever learned from movies was that one big romantic gesture. Yeah, you know the one where the guy frantically races to the airport in order to stop her, the one and make his public declaration of love, which is exactly what I did after freshman year. I raced the truck without a license down to El Paso International Airport with a collection of the very first poems I'd ever written, because I wanted her to have them when I caught her, and I told her in front of her family that she was spectacular, and in the vernacular of a choked up 15-year-old boy with misguided ideas of love, said my goodbyes. She said she cried all the way to Oakland, and so did I for a while. See, it's okay, guys, to cry. So be bold and take risks, even if they lead to tears, because those are the ones that will soak into your bones. They will provide the nutrients to help you grow into the person who you are and will be. Step 3, be in love. Look that person in the morning mirror and tell them, you look good today. Take that time to listen to the heartbeat of a lover. Make sure you forget that time exists, especially when you're deep in each other's bodies and the wind is a howling giant along the border. Take that one angry, bitter person and disarm them with compassion. Don't waste your time with nonsensical arguments that bring each other down, because the best way to stop bridges from burning is to let it all become water underneath. Take that love and compassion, wear it on your sleeve and make it your anthem. Be in love with nature, with stories, with knowledge, with home, with your mind, with your body, with the world. To young leaders, be you, be bold, and be in love. Oh, and one last thing. Here's the microphone. Come and take it. All right. Se acabó. That's it for that one. Yeah. Thanks for letting me go on, Kit. Appreciate you for stepping in and hosting. Yeah. And then also, I'm not used to this. You can find me online at Deadwell Reveries. There you go.
There we go. Thank you, Richie. It's a great privilege in my life that I get to maintain this with you and call you friend. But enough of that sappy shit. We're moving on. We're moving on to Los Angeles, where everyone's favorite teleplay critical theorist, poet, and cover artist, and farmer makes their trade. So class is in session. Did I leave anything out, Mr. Tezazomuk? I think I got all of it.
That's what do they call that? Semantic overloading.
Well,
Thank you, I appreciate it. But anyway, so I wanted to finish off. Folks can catch me on Instagram under Gaseous 2019. Pick up my book, I Am Not Your Chihuahua, on Amazon. I wanted to finish the second half of the speculative execution of Democratos, and then do a new piece that I wrote today. And then if there's time, I can do a new song I did also. So when we left off on our presentation of the speculative execution of Democratos, the witnesses were filing into the execution room, and we'll pick it up from there, if that's okay, Kit. So dispatch, the witnesses are still filling in. They're being signed in and seated. The witnesses are now being briefed. They're all seated. Has the equipment been tested? Chorus. The execution chamber is surrounded by a viewing room that can accommodate up to 12 people, like the 12 apostles. The viewing room is separated from the execution. The testing of the equipment is now complete. I repeat, the testing of the equipment is now complete. Chorus. The chamber contains a quartz clock displaying 24 hours military time with large 4-inch 7-segment displays. Quartz clocks are the most common type of timekeeping devices in the world. They are accurate, reliable, and relatively inexpensive. The typical reference frequency used by a quartz clock is 32,768 hertz. This frequency is chosen because it is a power of 2, which makes it easy to divide and multiply. The number 2 is also used to represent the relationship between God and humanity. God is often referred to as the Father and the Son, which suggests a duality within God's nature. Additionally, in the book of Genesis, the heavens and the earth are created in the first 2 days. By extension, the event has a duality of creation and ending. In the book of Revelations, there were 2 witnesses who prophesied for 1,260 days. These represent the Old and New Testament. In the book of Zechariah, 2 olive trees that stand beside the lamp, which represent the 2 anointed ones, Jesus and the Holy Spirit. In the book of Ezekiel, 2 cherubim stand on the mercy seat. They represent the presence of God. Finally, in the book of Exodus, God commands the Israelites to rest on the 7th day. It is also a very stable frequency, which means that it does not drift very much over time. Guard, dispatch. Is the switchboard cleared? Have any calls come in from the governor? We are set to go. Dispatch. 1035 negative, copy that. Chorus. In the context of executions, quartz clocks are used to ensure that the execution is carried out at the correct time. The clock is set to the time of the execution, and a signal is sent to the executioner when the time is reached. This ensures that the execution is carried out in a timely and efficient manner, much like keeping the trains on schedule. Guard, dispatch. It's 2357. The first charge has been applied. I repeat, the first charge applied. Chorus. The room smells a mixture of antiseptic, sweat, and fear. The antiseptic is used to clean the room after each execution. The sweat comes from the inmate and the execution team. The fear comes from the inmate who knows that he's about to die. During the electrocution, the smell is strong and it lingers in the air long after the execution is over. It is a smell that is hard to forget. Guard. Dispatch, it's 2358. We are ready for the second charge. Chorus. Some people who have been in the execution chamber have described the smell as being like a hospital, while others have said it smells like death. Chorus. It is a mixture of burnt flesh, hair, and electrical smoke. It is a strong, accurate smell that is difficult to describe. Some people have compared it to the smell of barbecue gone wrong, while others have said that it is more like the smell of burning building. Dispatch, 1032, clear. Chorus. The smell is caused by the high voltage of electricity passing through the inmate's body. The electricity causes the inmate's muscles to contract and spasm, which can cause the skin to burn. The hair can also catch fire, adding to the smell of smoke. Guard. Dispatch, it's 2358. The second charge is complete. Master control has turned off the machine. Second charge complete. Physician Dr. Davis is now examining the inmate Democratos. Shirt is pulled back for examination by the doctor. Chorus. The smell is often described as being overwhelming and nauseating. It is a smell that is hard to forget. Guard. Dispatch. It's 0000. The medical examiner has pronounced the inmate dead. The doctor has given the word that the inmate Democratos has expired. The witnesses are now leaving. Now, repeat. The witnesses are now leaving. The witnesses are now leaving in slow-mo. Last words were given to his attorney. He gave attorney a statement, so process complete. Dispatch. 10-4, copy that. That's a 1054. Good job. That's it. You're great. Thanks. Chorus. All those in the room linger for a scent, the mixture of lavender, citrus, and pine. The lavender is the most dominant scent, but the citrus and pine note add a touch of freshness and brightness. The overall smell is clean, fresh, and uplifting. Lavender is a calming and relaxing scent that is often associated with peace and tranquility. Citrus scents are invigorating and energizing, while pine scents are refreshing and woodsy. The combination of these scents could create a clean, fresh, and inviting atmosphere. Only in death row would one's last wish would be for a multi-purpose cleaner that can be used on a variety of surfaces, including floors, countertops, appliances, and furniture. It is also effective and environmentally friendly choice for most Mexican households at 20 cents an ounce. Lavender Fabuloso. So that's the end of that piece. And then I was going to move to a piece that I wrote today. We're good still? All right. So this is I was in a Chicano studies class. We were talking about 3 topics that affect Chicano literature. What is it? Slumming. What is it? Troublesome mestizos, and then there's another one. Violent poor people. So I wrote this deconstruction piece titled Cultural Voyages, the Delusion of Authenticity. Have you always wanted to experience cultural tourism? To unlock the extraordinary? Join us at Cultural Tourism. Discover a world of unparalleled experience at Cultural Tourism, where we invite you to embrace your adventurous spirit and indulge in the allure of cultural exploration. With our expert native tour guides leading the way, prepare to be captivated by the most captivating and exotic neighborhoods where you'll encounter the poignant stories of the tragic mestizos and witness the resilience of the impoverished, all from the comfort and safety of our exclusive tour buses. Embrace our motto, empowering cultural encounters. At Cultural Tourism, we understand the delicate nature of confronting genuine poverty and suffering. That's why we carefully curated an array of authentic cultural events, such as the vibrant Cinco de Mayo celebration. Immerse yourself in the festive ambiance without the burden of historical context, allowing you to fully enjoy the spirited atmosphere and all you can drink margaritas. Unlock engaging narratives, shaping a harmonious journey. We believe in providing a curated experience that not only enlightens, but also ensures your complete peace of mind. Our meticulously crafted narratives seamlessly neutralize any revolutionary inklings, any discomfort, shielding you from any unsettling truths surrounding oppression and exploitation. Relax. Revel in the captivating performances, knowing that both your emotional and physical well-being are safeguarded. You know, you can even bring your AK-45 and open carry. Tailor your voyage, embrace your desires. Choose from our enticing selection of tailor-made tours, each designed to cater to your individual preferences and desires. Embark on the Tragic Mestizos Tour for our intimate glimpse into the courageous struggle of indigenous communities against centuries of miscegenation and colonial oppression. Our expert guides will share tales of resilience, multi-caste systems, leaving you inspired by their unwavering spirit. For an exhilarating escapade, opt for the thrilling Poor People Tour. Immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding realities of violent, poverty-stricken neighborhoods. Discover the root causes of these hardships as our knowledgeable guides shed light on government policies, the inducement of states of deprivation, the historical materialist extractions that have perpetrated these challenges. If nostalgia beckons, our Rural Pastoral Tales Tour will transport you to idyllic countryside settings, offering a window into the enchanting traditions of indigenous people as you soak in the breathtaking landscapes, the remnant cultural practices, the beauty from forced concentration camps that have inspired generations of artists and poets. Our guides will unveil the profound significance of these scenes to the national identity. Elevate your experience. No guilt, just enrichment. Leave behind any notions of guilt, reparations, rematriation, or responsibility for the past, as cultural tourism encourages you to relish the beauty of cultural immersion without reservation and obligation. Our expert guides will demonstrate how your enthusiastic participation acts as a catalyst for cultural preservation, ensuring these rich heritages endure for generations to come. Indulge in unparalleled passion, a sensory sojourn. For those seeking a more seductive encounter, our sensory seduction tour unveils the tantalizing delights, the fulfillment of your fetish fantasies with their local nightlife scenes. Surrender to the allure of exotic bars and vibrant dance clubs where you can indulge in the sensuous pleasures offered by local women and others. Experience the exhilaration of modern day explorer, reveling in the illusion of conquest where pleasure is the ultimate prize. Join us at Cultural Tourism. Unleash your wanderlust. Immerse yourself in the electrifying world of cultural tourism. Don't be fooled by the slumming misnomer where the thrill of exploration awaits without the complexities of emotional entanglement. Our certified native guides will expertly navigate you through the most picturesque and enchanting destinations, ensuring a seamless journey devoid of any distractions from the full consumptive self-enrichment, captivating culture and history. Don't hesitate. Remember, your voyage today can unlock the boundless rewards of cultural tourism.
It's a mouthful. All right, Tess.
Did you want me to stop there, or what do
you've hit about 15 minutes, so I think.
Oh yeah, that's good. Then.
We have.
That's enough punishment and no carrot, man. That's awful.
Well, it depends on how you feel about carrots, doesn't it?
Thank you, Kit.
No, but that was Mr. Tezosomok, a very thoughtful and interesting individual. Always great to hear him read. But coming up next, we're glad that he could make it today. Because he has a very unique and bright way. I'm trying to imitate his custom, but I cannot think of a good rhyme for custom. So no more of this gimmick. Let's send you straight to the man himself. Please welcome Ed Poetastic.
Thank you, Kit. You're always a smashing hit. I just love whatever you spit. Woo! Because you make our hearts and minds go split. In a good way. Hello, my name is Ed Poetastic. Been fantastic. Please get time to join my rhyme for some time. Okay, I got 6 jokes and 3 poems. The first joke is, why did a turkey cross the road? Because it was a chicken. Why couldn't the plumber work? He was too flushed. What is a crow's favorite beverage? Coffee. What do you call a group of crows murdering a chicken? A murder so foul. What do you call a pig wearing a beanie? Pork and beans. Last but not least, why did the book want to see a therapist? It had a ton of problems. Hope everyone enjoyed that. You can keep under a hat. Okay, the first piece is called Dragon Slayer. I smell blackened air going to my lungs. You hear it? The tiny bell has rung. I go down the thin silver road after I jump and sprint faster than a toad. I put on my red armor quicker than a flash. I look redder than a crab with a rash. My friends and I go quickly inside the noisy big red, hoping they're alive and not dead. I drive faster than Speed Racer drinking caffeine. Don't see angry red, but fluorescent green. Do you hear my siren cry? Then move out the way. I hope the citizens are breathing, or at least okay. We arrive at the site, looking at the wailing, burning tower. Shit, let's go. Cities don't have seconds, minutes, or hours. I get out of the truck, take out my trusty Excalibur, rushing and cutting down a door harder than the Earth's core. I get engulfed by the dancing dragons, but I yelled, "Is someone there?" I ventured onward. I must and dare. I see a mother and her child coughing up black storm. I could have got at them and ran away from this crazy firestorm. I ran out of the massive burning inferno, luckier than any other poor fellow. I gave them to the kind angels in white. I got another scorching monstrosity task in my sight. I couldn't get out the long, stretchy, and heavy hose, giving the burning monster a bursting double dose. I'm spraying water like a big angry elephant while remembering my duty and the firefighters chant. The goal is to put out devilish fires no matter when or where. We all know life's unforeseen circumstances aren't fair. The burning tower has been vanquished. A glimmer of victory has been won. Our days are yet to be completed, finished, or done. I drove back to the castle, tired, blackened, and satisfied. I took off my armor, ate, cleaned, and went to bed while I sighed. What a hell of a ride. Thank you. And I got another one that's going to call Iron Rocket. Here it is. I'm sorry about that. The early bird is flying in the colorful sea. Up early. What happened to my coffee? My chocolate decaf for anti-misery. Where's my expensive liquid toffee? I'm daydreaming of an exotic commercial. My eyes were glued to a bowl of cereal. The headaches of the global traversal. Look at me, the stuffy, cranky, and joyful turtle. A piece of paper danced around my pocket. My electric muses singing in my ear. I'm waiting for my speedy rocket, the trip far away from boredom and fears. My fingers danced around my jacket. My body was an annoying habit. My legs jump higher than any grasshopper or rabbit. I'm mumbling, is this it? Is this it? Or is this it? I finally found my golden ticket. I was almost at my limit. My rocket's coming in 15 minutes. The feeling of paying for something, but never visit. Here it comes, the smoky rocket coming for a landing. My footsteps are slowly advancing. The rocket's panting while the door started branching. The rocket looked modern and enchanting. I gave my paper in the ticket collector's hand. I felt I was about to burst, but he understand. My trip to the bathroom wasn't planned. You gotta go. Eric understand. Yeah, you don't want to hear the details. We're all males and females. Let's just say I prevail on my trail. Let's just say I calm an angry whale. The floor started moving. A rocket started singing. I started grinning, thinking, and sitting. I started thinking what I was missing. My ideas started swimming and swimming. Oh, my luggage! Wait, there's a top over my head. If I didn't remember, I'll be dead. My body felt like lumber or lead. I ordered a meal of beef and noodles with beer. It left me in joyful tears. My fingers were wrestling with a silver spear. I yawned. The drowsiness is here. I asked for a fluffy marshmallow to help me dream. I asked for a blindfold to submerge in the stream. I asked for earplugs for the sounds, toots, and screams. All right, time to sleep in the supreme. I awakened to a quiet sight. I left the rocket at midnight. I waved and saw my Uber lights. I'm racing off to a hotel for another sleeping sight. Thank you. And I got for last a little short piece to go inside. This is called How to Begin Again. How to begin again. Why not ask life? Let the pain transcend. Let it be a sharp knife. Can I honestly recommend? Pain gives away strife. It doesn't stop but extend. It's neither wrong or right. You can't falsely pretend. It can bellow in the night. Some people can't comprehend. Everyone has it. It's not a self-sight. It's much easier to make amends. Better to cope than to fight. Talk to your dear love. Talk to your dear family and friends. Don't run away or hide it. Not a delight. Time can take you to newer heights. Let your screams, pains descend. Let it bask in your warming sunlight. Thank you.
All right, Ed. Thank you. Anything you'd like to plug in this space now?
Of course. Please come to this wonderful open mic that makes their money like such a wonderful spotlight. Hosted by Richie or Kit. He's already a smashing hit. He always so talented whenever he spits. And please, thank you for having me. My name is Ed. Sorry. If you want to follow me, please feel free. My name is Ed. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman, and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And remember, the mic is right. I'll be there to shine my professor insight. If you send me a question, you take yes. The answer is yes. Hope you stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Now stop spewing wonderful words inside the chest. Now stop feeling, doing, and being your best. Almost forgot. Got my mind up in knots.
Well, a treat to live by, a hard one to live up to, but you see an example of it every week, don't you? So maybe it's not that hard. Thanks so much, Eddie. Well, we're rounding third and heading home after another great Monday here at the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. Stay at home open mic. Another great Monday, and we are ready to wrap up, as you can tell by the creaks in the background. Those are not my creaks, though. That was the creaks of our old right-hander. We're calling into the bullpen, and we're summoning Dan the Man. Dan, when you're ready, bud.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. How's everyone doing? Yeah, like I said, this coming Thursday is Red Nose Day. Yep, on the 25th. So, so the reason why we wear red nose, I'll explain why. And this poem called Red Nose Day. What is Red Nose Day? It is the day, something special to say it is for a clown for circulating the town. Well, no, not that day. Why wear the nose? Not to strike a pose where day goes, or who knows something about that nose, or the clown being a rose. I know why we wear the red nose, because it's something we represent, big cause. Help the children. Yes, think of children. Yeah. It is the day we want children to play, to go to school, to help them have a better education, a better home, a better future, a better life. It's all children all over the world at bay. Who knows? The Red Nose Day represents a big cause to help the children. Yes, think of the children. Think of the children. To help the world, we want the children to someone we know, someone we don't know. It's a big cause to help end child poverty all over the U.S., all over the world, because that's the priority. The main ration, to make a small donation for the cause to help end child poverty, one nose at a time. A round of applause. Therefore, on the last Thursday of 5th month every year, nose is on. Yep, for Nose Day, this Thursday. All right, so this is why you want to get your nose at Walgreens and talk, because that proceeds goes to the grateful cause to help edge poverty. So that's what we did. So this coming Thursday, nose is on. You know what I mean? All right. Oh, come on. I'm trying to share it here. Really?
What are you trying to do? Oh, you're trying to
Okay,
share
there we
screen?
go.
Yeah, go for it.
Got it. Okay, coming. Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. Yeah, like I said, I'm behind posts on Twitter and Facebook, but I'm still catching up on Instagram. So, but most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch it. Okay, but most hashtag Dan the Man's Weekly. And don't forget, going for best digital influence, social media influencer for the best of El Paso. So you guys got till next Wednesday to vote for Dan the Man's Week for best social media influencer for the best of El Paso. It's under entertainment. So if you guys get the chance, so please. All right, and please, Dan the Man's Week. And what you do, pass it on, please. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you next Monday for Memorial Day. All right, Kit, go ahead and tell her to call it a night.
Whatever you say, boss. And congrats on even being nominated. That's quite an honor. You're up against a juggernaut in Nanny's Adventures, though. Just a little local inside baseball for all you national and international people. Perhaps a bit presumptuous of me, but I declare tonight a success. It's been really great to spend the evening with you all as hosts, and we'll do this again sometime soon. But for official goodbyes, I'll pass it back to El Jefe, Richie.
Alrighty then, that sounds great. Thank you, Kit, once again for coming through and helping out. Fernando also mentioned the possibility of hosting and future events too, so stick around for that. And it's gonna be another busy summer. We'll be here every Monday, so if you guys tuned in today on YouTube and want to join us, we will be here next Monday. The sign-up sheet will be available on our social media. You can just look up Barbed Wire Open Mic, your social media of choice. We do have a YouTube channel. Obviously, if you guys are watching this show, that's here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, like and subscribe that way, so that always helps push it out to more people, this specific video. And of course, you can also subscribe. Anytime we go live, you'll be notified. Or actually, if you click the bell, there's a little bell there when you subscribe. Next to that button, there's also a bell. If you click on that, you'll be notified whenever we go live. And I do have a lot more content. I've been working really hard. I just finished a whole podcast episode that I filmed with Aldo Ramparan, author of Brothers Sleep. It was for a show that I run called Literally Literary. I help produce. And I also have a whole video of Jose Olivares, Chicago Chicano poet who visited our college. I recorded his whole speech and questions from, I'm going to mute you, Dan, because you're eating like straight up. All right, cool. That wasn't me. Also, that wasn't me. That was Dan. But those are going to be available on our YouTube soon. And then I have a bunch of podcasts that I've also recorded with like Cassie Olguin Petinato, Zandra Luna, Fox and T. You'll like see them uploaded on our YouTube channel. But otherwise, thanks to everyone who read so much. We will see you next week for the live stream. My name is Rich. Thanks again, Kit. We'll see you next time. Peace.